Hey guys, back here um, about less than 24 hours later doing another review after I did my review of VHS 2, which, if you haven't seen my review for last night that I did last night, go see VHS 2 for God's sakes. Rent it, whatever you can, uh, get the $10 and go rent it on video on demand as soon as possible. Definitely check that out. I can't recommend that movie enough. Uh, but before I get into the movie I saw today and start talking about it, I wanted to talk about something that I've been meaning to talk about in the last couple of reviews, but I keep forgetting, and so I had to kind of remind myself before I did this review. And that is I wanted to say a huge thank you to anybody who's watched these videos or anybody who watched my review on the Office series finale. I got I believe right now, over 100 views. Um, Now, for most people I know on YouTube, that's not a big deal. That people get like thousands of. Sorry if you hear that sound, the vibrating noise. I have a garage door right below me. But anyways, I know most people want the 100 views is nothing, and but for me that's now my highest viewed video, and I appreciate that. That was one of my favorite reviews. I felt like I gave genuine emotions and thoughts about The Office. I loved The Office. I had a real passion for it. I appreciate everybody that watched that video. I really enjoyed doing it. It was different. It was a different video for me because usually I'm doing movie reviews, and I decided to do a TV show review, and that was different for me. But yeah, thank you guys again. I don't know if I'll ever do another TV show review. There's not many TV shows that I've gotten into over the last few years that I can do a review of, but maybe one day I will. I don't know. Up until that point, that was the highest rated review was Evil Dead remake review, and it's always kind of interesting. I always look to see how many reviews I get, and it's always kind of interesting which ones get the most views, and it's kind of weird. Honestly, there's some of the ones like Spring Breakers was a really highly viewed a review, which was surprising to me. And there's ones that I've not gotten. I think Place Beyond the Pines was one video. I don't believe I still never got anybody to watch that video. That's kind of funny. But anyways, thank you guys again for that. Much appreciated. Anyways, let's talk about the movie I just saw about an hour ago, which is The Purge. About 2 months ago, when I saw the Evil Dead remake, there I got a trailer for this movie. It was the first time I heard about this thing, and it caught my interest because it made me kind of. After I saw the trailer, I went, "What the hell was that?" Uh, because it was it. The trailer presented an interesting idea for a movie, but at the same time, it kind of looked unintentionally hilarious. Especially with the mask and people with the mask and everything, because every freaking horror movie nowadays has got to have a freaking villains that have creepy looking mask, whatever. And the idea that you know there's 1% unemployment rate in America was kind of silly, and the fact the trailer is trying to hint that the Purge was the reason why we had a 1% unemployment rate is kind of funny. But anyways, I went into this movie kind of like, well, this movie either could be really, really bad and also be unintentionally hilarious at the same time, and because of that would be really entertaining, or this could be actually a pretty good movie, horror movie, and actually kind of be kind of scary at the same time. Um, my expectations were in the middle, I guess, if you would say. And I was interested in how this movie would turn out. And, well, this movie was just okay. It was, in the end, I found this movie just to be okay. Um, it is kind of like a middle ground. There's kind of a middle ground for this movie. There are some there wasn't actually many unintentionally hilarious moments as I thought there would be in this movie. I mean, they do explain some of the plot holes that I saw in the trailer, like the fact that apparently like I said, the unemployment rate's at 1%, and that's mainly they explain as mainly because most people when they go do this purge they murder poor people or homeless people because they are the most vulnerable, and that kind of makes sense. I get that. I get that. Also, yeah, the one plot hole that was in the trailer also somebody had mentioned is if all crime is legal, why are these guys wearing masks for God's sake? They do explain that. I will say that, and the fact that the guy says that they just kind of that's just their getup that they like to wear during the purge. Okay, whatever. That's all he had to say and to explain it. It was fine, whatever. Um, but this movie was just okay. The first half was kind of hard to get through. Um, Even though Ethan Hawke and Lena Headey are really good in this, I like Ethan Hawke. I like Lena Headey. Lena Headey is actress. I wanted to actually the one of my issues with this movie was that I wanted to see more of Lena Headey being a badass, like we did with Ethan Hawke in this movie. We got to see a good amount of Ethan Hawke being a badass, but we never got to see enough of Lena Headey being a badass, except at the end. Um, this movie, it was kind of hard to get through the first half because it introduces this family and some of the kids. One of the main problems I have with this movie was the kids in this movie. The teenage girl was having this horrible love story dialogue with this boy that was older than her, and her dad was forbidding it. And some of the dialogue that her and this boy were having were kind of atrocious. I mean, it's nothing really bad. I mean, I've heard a lot worse. Star Wars Episode 2 is the first that comes to mind. No, was a lot worse, but I mean, it was not very good. And the little boy drove me nuts in this movie because this whole movie could have been this whole story, this family's problems could have been avoided if this boy was not so fucking stupid. As you see in the trailer, he decides, because he has a guilty conscience, to let this random stranger they do not know in their house and basically risk their whole family's lives. He basically is the reason why their families could die. And he's a freaking moron. You don't know this guy. You don't know whether this guy is just playing an act, and this guy could be playing an act. Why would you let him in and potentially have him kill you and your family? That makes no sense. And then on the top of that, then you find out that you got guys just chasing him for no apparent reason, or just decided to chase him. And now the guys that are chasing him are now after you and your family. Because of this, the boy, I thought was just so fucking stupid. The kid made some really stupid decisions. I did like the main villain in the movie, the guy, the leader of the group that's trying to kill this guy. He had some kind of campy moments, and he would and when he had campy moments, they could be really fun. but he also could be kind of very creepy at the same time when he needed to be. So I liked him. I liked him a lot. I liked him and Ethan Hawke and Lena Headey. I thought they were the best parts of this movie. Um, I yeah, I felt like the characters also had the problem that a lot of characters in like movie like Evil Dead remake had, and that they made a lot of stupid freaking decisions. One of the biggest issues I had with this movie was that they were having a moral dilemma a lot of times during this movie as to whether or not they were going to let this guy that was in their house go and let him go back outside where these guys are waiting to kill him. These people are waiting to kill him, and they were really having these moral dilemmas. I mean, they actually capture him at one point. Well, the one reason why they don't let him in, or they don't give him up right away, is because they can't find him in the house. When they finally do, they have a really hard time trying to figure out whether or not they're going to do it. I'm honest. I'm going to be honest. If it came down to between me and my family or that guy, hell, that guy's gonna go. Bye. I don't care. Yeah, those guys could end up lying and tricking you, and end up trying to kill you in the end, anyways. But at least I could try to take a chance with that and try to, let my family live. I think your family's lives are a little bit more important, for God's sakes, than this just random stranger that you do not know. Although he does end up helping them in the end, and that's and his survival ends up being very important to their own survival in the end, which is kind of good. So I guess in the end, it's not a total big regret for the family. The one thing the big positive I could say for this movie was the last half of it. When the guys that this kind of go into spoilers territory, but I'm not gonna spoil all of it. But eventually, towards in the last half of the movie, the guys at their front door eventually get into their house, and from there it becomes like a cat and mouse game of them the family trying to hide from the intruders and trying to defend themselves at the same time. And it becomes pretty good. It gets intense at times. It actually gets really good. It has Ethan Hawke being a badass at points, and there's some really genuine intense moments where I didn't know whether they were gonna survive it at all. I thought they were at one point. I thought they were gonna go the route of like the movie The Strangers, where it has a really dark ending. I thought they were gonna go around have about the same kind of ending as The Strangers, not the ending where Liv Tyler goes, but the ending before that, the ending after, or the actual ending of The Strangers kind of ruins that the dark ending that they, I think. It's kind of, I don't want to get into Strangers territory, but they should have ended it a little early on. The Strangers, I mean, and they should have just left it to where Liv Tyler and her boyfriend get stabbed and stuff like that, and left it there. But they had to kind of ruin it with the little boy coming in there, and Liv Tyler scaring the shit out of him basically by waking up alive, make one big giant jump scare at the end. I thought they almost went that territory, but honestly I thought for a couple minutes there that there's no way this family's gonna survive this movie. There is a death in the movie, major death, but I'm not gonna reveal who. But that actually came out of nowhere. There was a couple twists and turns that I was like, wow, I didn't see that coming. Especially coming, especially with the death of the main death. I didn't see that coming. I was actually surprised when that happened. I did not literally see that coming. But also, I do like that they throw towards the end uh, uh, another twist that you kind of saw coming because of the neighbors who have a kind of hidden resentment. You can tell have a hidden resentment towards Lena Headey and Ethan Hawke, and that comes into play at the end too. I like that, and I like the way it ended because I'm like, well, that's gonna be awkward for next year. The whole next year is gonna be really awkward because you gotta live with these people now and these neighbors now, and it's gonna be really awkward to live with them. I don't know how that's gonna work out. I said I want to see a movie where they show what happens after the purge and to show the awkwardness that happens after the purge, especially when you try to kill people that you know, and then you guys see them like for the rest of the year, and that's gonna make it really awkward. I mean, I'm sure that's not it happens in this movie, but that would be really awkward. And also, I like the idea for this movie because honestly, in the world and society we live in, the idea of a purge is not very far fetched, honestly. And this is a obviously a social commentary that this movie. There is a big, social commentary on this movie is being nailed over the head. It's not very subtle. Basically, about our violent society and everything else. It's basically about our violent society. And honestly, the way our society is, it's not very far-fetched, but it'd be very extreme if we did something like this. But honestly, it's not, in the society we live in, it's not too far-fetched. And I like the idea, but for this movie, but it just was, the first half was kind of hard to sit through, but it did pick up in the last half, which I was thankful for. Like I said, the first half is just kind of dull at some points. I guess would I recommend the movie? I guess yeah. It'd be a decent rental, or if it's at a dollar movie theater and you want to see a good scary movie, go see it. It's nothing really bad about it. I would say maybe save the movie the money and go buy or go rent the VHS 2 for $10, and you can see a way better movie for $10 on video on demand. And you can like rent it for like 2 days and watch it. If you are not able to watch it the day you rent it, you can watch it if you have it for like 2 days. It's only $10. I'd rather say go see that, go watch that, and go see The Purge. But The Purge is not a bad movie. If you want to see a good horror movie at a movie theater or whatever, go see it. It's not terrible. It's just okay. I mean, I would say just wait till it comes like at a dollar movie theater and not pay the whole ticket price. It's not really worth seeing with the whole ticket, seeing it with a whole ticket price. But yeah, go see it, or or also go rent it. Then wait till it comes out on rental. Go to Redbox and rent it for $1. Alright, I'm gonna get off here. I'll be back next week is a big week. Next week I'll be back first on Wednesday with This Is the End, which looks really funny, and Friday with Man of Steel, which I hope is better than the trailers make it out to be. I hope. I'm crossing my fingers that movie is good. So I'll be back next week with those two movies, and I'll see you guys later.